Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Venom figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beasts we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Real quick, looking at the right flap, it says Amazing Yamaguchi at the top, powered by Revoltech. There's a picture of the figure, it says Venom, says Venom again, Kaiyodo. There's the bottom, some artwork, it says We Are Venom. Bunch of Japanese I can't read. And on the left side, more the same, some more pictures of the figure. And across the top. And the front, it says Marvel.com down here, more the same, logos. Alright, let's get this guy up. And there's a look at the artwork from the inside. Oh boy. So before I even get started, I'm gonna have to do a fix here. Let me see what's going on before I even start this review properly. As soon as I took him out the package, this leg separated here. Now I could tell that it was glued here and this joint kind of turns. You can still kind of stick this back on and still turn the leg, but I'm really disappointed with that. So I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna glue it back on, and hopefully the mechanism to articulate the leg at the knee will still work. Alright, so that was annoying as hell, but it looks like it's remedied right now. I'm already thinking in the back of my mind I want to get a totally new Venom, but I know going through these Japanese sites could be a pain in the ass to try to get them to replace something for you. I did actually initially order 3 of these, and I was going to keep 2, but I ended up sending one to my man Al Chang and one to my man Ed in Cali. Both of them were in Cali, but yeah. So I'm gonna end up having to get one more of these just so I can feel good about having a brand new one that I know in the back of my mind doesn't have any issues. But I like this figure a lot. Despite that, despite anything, I'm trying to erase that from the memory banks. But yo, this figure is really cool and has some crazy fun factor. The articulation is crazy. I love the color scheme of the figure. I love the articulation. Alright, so actually real quick before we get into his accessories, I just want to give this disclaimer real quick. I always say this when I review Revoltech figures. These figures are made for posing. They're not really about you buying this figure and spending 70 and 80 bucks on it and putting the figure in a vanilla stance and putting it on the shelf. It's made for you to play with it, for you to really explore the figure's articulation and take it to new heights and really push yourself to the limits with displaying and with trying to mimic different poses from the comic books and all of that stuff. And that's why I love these figures so much. This is Revoltech's 3rd offering from this new, I guess, Yamaguchi Marvel line that they're doing. They put out Spider-Man, they put out Deadpool, now they have Venom. And so yeah, let's look at his accessories. Just looking at his back real quick, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different little peg holes where you can port in some tendril accessories that he comes with. So I'll show those and we'll get them ported in. You have these 2 longer accessories, and you can see some spiked parts, and you can see it kind of raging and looking crazy. And then not only do they have nice detail, but they are articulated here with one of these revolver joints. And so they rotate and hinge on these joints as well. These are the 2 longer ones. And he also comes with a shorter pair that are articulated at that one point as well. And you know what? I said they're articulated at one point, but that's not true. They're articulated at 2 points because there's a revolver joint here right at the base and then one midway as well. So you can hinge them and rotate them when you get them pegged in. And then yeah, you can plug in the smaller ones too. And you know what? This part actually in the back is not for the tendrils. So the tendrils only go here like on his traps. This part is actually for his stand. But yeah, these look cool. I'll show them from the front and get them fixed up in a sec. So yeah, that's pretty cool. A lot of playability with these, a lot of posabilities with these. You got a lot of options with the tendrils. You know, you don't have to use them all at once. You can use 2 or 3 or just 1, whatever you want to do here. And as you can see, his mouth can open and close. Obviously, I'll go over all the articulation shortly, but you have a tongue that can be inserted in there. You can see a little peg hole inside of there, and even this tongue is articulated. You can see the tongue is on a very small revolver joint right here too. One sec. Yeah, and that can hinge and rotate as well, so I'll get that plugged in. And that looks cool. Like I said, you can hinge it and rotate it in there. And then his final accessory allows you to move the top of his cranium and remove this part here and swap it out for another where the pattern of the eyes, or where the eyes are shaped differently, and you got one eye open larger than the other, and that's pretty much it. They didn't give you as many options with the eyes as they did with Deadpool or Spider-Man, but I do like the accessories that he comes with, and everything looks really cool, and all of the stuff is working in tandem. And some of the details real quick before we go over the articulation. You can see a bunch of little veiny parts here throughout the legs, the arms, the shoulders. You can see some of his some of the symbiote kind of region here on the shoulders and on the forearms, and that looks good. The color is not really black. It's more like it's really like purple. It's like a dark blue with some hints of purple, and it looks a little metallic, but it looks really, really good. All of the back muscles and everything look really crazy, and the spider symbol here on the back is broken up a little bit according to how you articulate them, but when you get everything lined up, it looks pretty decent. Looks better across the front in my opinion, but they still did a pretty good job without completely breaking up the scope. You can still see the spider symbol, and the teeth look really good. The tongue looks good. You can almost see like little pores in the tongue, very detailed there. You can see like some stress on his brow here as he's moving the eyes on this one a little differently, and that looks cool. And in terms of articulation, I may miss some stuff. There is so much to do. You know, I was messing around with them for a long time before I started recording and trying to just see where he moves in every place and figure it out. And I was having a good time just messing around with this guy. So it is a lot of articulation. It is a learning curve if you have never bought a Revoltech figure. Again, this operates on a unique system of joints that are articulated at 2 points and allow you to rotate and hinge at 2 points, and you can actually separate pretty much all of the joints that have these revolver joints. And if you're having a hard time working a hinge, then you can you know, take one part out and do what you have to do to kind of recalibrate and then put it back in. So anywhere you see one of these little ball joints or these revolver joints, it can be separated. But yeah, the neck is a separate joint. You can move it up and down and left and right just a little bit. The neck will kind of pivot and move up and down. You can see it's kind of dug in the upper torso here and underneath his back and above the collarbone. So that's cool. And then the head can actually move independently as well, and it'll move left to right, and that can do a full 360 if you wanted it to. And then I'm gonna take out the tongue. But yeah, the jaw can move up and down and actually left and right as well. I really like how that overbite looks. It looks pretty cool. But moving the jaw left and right, he's got the Bobby Brown mouth right there. But yeah, the head can look up pretty far too. You see that? And it'll look down pretty far. He can look right down at an opponent, and that is something that I always want in the villain figures or the larger figures, for them to be able to look down at their adversaries. But yeah, I'm spending 5 minutes on the head and neck alone. Then you have a revolver joint here at the shoulder, so it will rotate there and it'll hinge, and you can kind of get him to move his arm in, sort of. It works as a butterfly joint a bit too, and this is pretty interesting here on the traps. This will rotate on both as well, so you can get his arms up high if you wanted to. The upper torso moves independently here, and this was very loose out of the package, but I don't think that it's a defect or anything. It allows you to kind of rotate, move it up and down, and get it all around. You can almost see in there and see how the joint is, but then you get a little more ab articulation at the lower abdomen, and you can get him to go down really far, go back really far. This portion of his abdomen is a separate part, and you can turn them left and right too, And then here at the pelvis is kind of unique. You could get the legs up, but it'll actually rotate on this joint as well, so you could get the legs out. And you could get them into a split if you work that joint properly and really get the legs up far. You know, don't be afraid to push it to the limit. You know, obviously when I opened up the video there was a little issue there, but don't be afraid to push this guy to the limit. You do get a double jointed knee, and both the knees seem to be working with no problem right now. And you get a hinge, a nice deep hinge on the foot up and back, and it'll rotate. Another revolver joint here. You get a toe joint. Yeah, this came apart here actually, so now you can see there's a revolver joint on the inside of there, and that plugs in there. It's not broken. Again, anywhere where there's one of these revolver joints, you can take it apart and do your thing. Revolver joint here, so right below the forearm and right before the bicep, it'll rotate at both of those joints there. You get finger articulation, individual finger articulation. Each finger and the thumb can move. The thumb just rotates. It'll actually hinge a little bit too, actually. So yeah, same thing on both sides as far as the hands go. Another revolver joint here at the wrist. So I mean, it's just so much articulation on this guy. All right, let's get some size comparisons going. Revoltech Spider-Man and Revoltech Deadpool from the same line, and I do like the way those size up. And this how he stacks up next to Marvel Legends. You can see the Pizza Spidey on the left and the Teen Buck on the Miles Morales Spider-Man on the right. And there's Marvel Legends Carnage. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Tiger Shark, which is the same mold as the Marvel Legends Venom, which I can't find right now. It's not that I can't find them. I'm not going to dig them out right now, but I just want to give you an idea of the size. The Revoltech Venom is still just a little taller, a little beefier. So, you know, he is a good size. What I'm really liking about this figure is it's sort of like a hybrid. You know, it can work as a classic Venom that's just kind of going crazy with the symbiote, or it can work as Matt Gargan, or it can work as Ultimate Venom. You know, you have a few options. If you're able to do something with the head or swap out the head in some way, you can definitely stretch this guy and use him across different lines or with different lines. All right, I got to get out of here. I'm spending too much time in between messing around with this figure. I'm having a very good time with this figure. I would highly recommend that you pick it up. The fun factor is through the roof. I'm liking the way Revoltech are rolling out these figures. I'm liking the direction that they're going. They're going to be releasing a Wolverine. They're going to be releasing a Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Gwen, excuse me. They've got plans for quite a few different figures from what I understand. And, you know, it's just very, very fun posing these guys, setting them up. And you're going to have to spend about 70, 80 bucks with shipping if you get it directly from Japan. Cost is going to go up even more domestically and on a secondary market. So if you still have a window to get it directly from Japan, then I would say go ahead and jump on this guy. I think this is going to be one that's going to really shoot up on the secondary market, probably even more so than Deadpool. But yeah, I'm having a very good time messing with this guy. And yeah, that's it. I'm out of here. Stay tuned for a review of the Kaioken Goku. Got quite a few things coming this week. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, peace.
That's crispy.